trades. So
I got a couple of things
worth talking about.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Beerfield. I am your host at Beerfield Hop, joined by Beer Fuel Theory because we can't make it easy on you guys.
Never.
So
Also brought to you by my fiance cleaning our cat's shitter box. So
right, if you're here for cat turds, we got you covered.
You can't get that anywhere else on your fancy on your Beer Fuel
football
fancy podcast.
or variety podcast. By the way,
Yeah.
more variety podcast now. We're changing that.
We're,
but a
variety
lot of the same content because this is mostly going to be a football episode. So we got some other stuff mixed in though for you though. It'll be fun. We're going to talk a little Julio Jones. We're going to get into some of Dan's Dynasty Trades. Talk some of the OTA hype because that's about the only thing going on in sports right now. We could talk Mayweather, Jake Paul, but I don't care. Little bourbon news over the last couple weeks out of Four Roses that curious on Dan's opinion on being newly plugged into the scene. And then I got some cheap Walgreens, some cheap, if you're on YouTube, this is good. Beerfield on YouTube.
Beerfield.
So I got some cheap $5 a pop Walgreens hanger boxes we're going to crack into for baseball and football. Last time I opened one of these, it was pretty damn amusing. So we're going to do it on air this time.
You're going to open it up on air?
I'm going to open them on air, yeah.
Love it. I got some cars I bought not too long ago. I got a Jalen Waddle.
I figured that
I
you'd
have
be
some Trevor Lawrence in here. So
I figured you'd be okay with me opening these on air because I mean
I would actually hope that you would open
last time it was pretty glorious. I held off. I'm sitting here on a call tonight starting to pick at one of them like I want to open this so bad, and I held off. So
it's like a kid seeing his first beer like I want it so bad.
This is true. Speaking of kids, we got my kid into a walker today, so he's mobile.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah, he's walking in circles right now, but
just like what Blake Bortles is going to do to
Jordan Love. More on that later.
Love.
What's fueling Beerfield?
Dan, what are you drinking today?
I am drinking local to the Springfield area and Build and Forge is Wolf's Bane Grey Tart. This is a Grey Tart ale with lemon peel and Earl Grey tea. Clocks in at 4.1%. I have been drinking for a little while here, so
be curious how it
compares
to the Bourbon County that used Earl Grey. Different style beer.
It's I'll tell you right now, there's not a lot of pepper on this one.
Yeah. All right, I've got Prairie Artisan Ales, Just the Juice. This is an imperial pastry sour ale with blood orange, mango, apricot, and vanilla. And it has a picture of a football player on the front of it, running, holding oranges, and an orange smoothie. So I felt like it was pretty relevant. Again, YouTube for all the visual content. So, Just the Juice. Picked this one up while I was down in Kentucky this past week.
There you go.
Along with a lot of bourbon. By the way, thank you, Heaven Hill. Thank you, Bernie Lubbers. My bank account, on the other hand, not thanking me for very much. All right, so by far the biggest news that we are almost obligated to discuss is, considering ourselves sports anything, is the Julio Jones trade. Been rumored for weeks and weeks and weeks. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? What are they going to get? It finally happened. Julio Jones has been traded to the Tennessee Titans for 2022 second, 2023 fourth, and a conditional 6th-round pick. So, got to discuss impacts here. I want to start with the Titans. Julio lands in Tennessee, paired with A.J. Brown. No Adam Humphries, no Jonnu Smith, no Corey Davis, but also not a high-volume offense. So what does this mean to Julio Jones, who perennially you would consider a top 8 wide receiver? What does this do for his value? And then let's assess really A.J. Brown is the other pass-catching option there, what that does for him.
Yeah, I don't. So Julio's best spot to stay at would have been Atlanta. Would have been, he had 10+ years of chemistry with Matt Ryan. He's in an offense that that caters to his skill sets on a top 5 passing volume in terms of pass attempts. So he goes to Tennessee, like you just mentioned, the volume's less already there. So you're looking at a wide receiver who now loses that higher end ceiling. He goes from number 1 guy, offense gonna with the quarterback that's gonna flood him with targets, to a run first offense that's going to move through Derrick Henry, and then also through the passing game that's going to utilize A.J. Brown's skill set more. So for me, Julio probably drops to more of that mid to low 2 range. He still has higher end upside. It's funny because I found out this week that the Titans were, I believe, 2nd in scoring last year and 4th in yards. So this is an offense that was already highly efficient and high powered, given the shootouts that they were in last year. I don't know if the defense improved greatly, but it's hard to say that if they're firing on all cylinders, if Julio is going to receive the higher end volume that he did with Atlanta.
No, you just consider it net neutral, and I find it hard to think that Julio could receive the higher end volume that he did. I mean, it would basically have to be him getting all of those vacated targets to hit the upper echelon of where he was in Atlanta. 92 from Corey Davis, 65 from Jonnu Smith, 35 from Humphries. I mean, that's only in the 180 range, right? So he'd have to receive basically all of that. And that's not what's going to happen. So I agree. Julio is now firmly in the wide receiver 2 discussion, and the floor should definitely be there for him. But, to think that he's going to see 200, 163 targets like he did in his best years, I mean, I look at 2012 maybe, I look at his 2012 season, which 79 receptions, 128 targets, 1,200 yards, and I think that's probably the ceiling.
Yeah. I mean, it's you have to expect, between Josh Reynolds, between Anthony Firkser getting more than 53 targets than he got last year,
right,
which I don't know if he's going to get much more than that. I would assume he'll be
he's
60
probably
to 70 range.
Yeah, plus or minus 15% of that maybe.
And then we expect Brown to move up from the 106 he got
right
last year. I mean, he only got that in 12 games started, so 14 games total, but we expect this offense to kind of hover where it was last year in terms of passing attempts per game, which is
unless something happens
higher
to
than
Henry.
usual. Yeah,
yeah,
which has already been higher than usual.
Right, and Firkser, I think Firkser stays in that 65 to 70 target range. Maybe you bring over Josh Reynolds, he's going to demand a little bit more than what Humphrey did, but I still don't see Reynolds taking a whole hell of a lot. So I mean, really, you're looking at A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, but you figure A.J. Brown's going to get up in that 120 range. That's going to put Julio, probably in the 100 to 110 target, which is firmly wide receiver 2 in today's NFL. So, I mean, I don't think it hurts A.J. Brown any in the short term or in the long run. It does take down Julio's value in redraft, and in Dynasty, you should have already been potentially trying to get out. He's still a solid piece. Don't get us wrong, but you do have to adjust those expectations for what you're going to get out of Julio Jones. So,
yeah.
Anything else on the Tennessee side?
No.
Okay. We'll evaluate the overall trade in a second because I guess I kind of skipped over that. Let's talk Atlanta now. Julio's gone. Calvin Ridley's at the top of your depth chart. The rest of your depth chart is Kyle Pitts, Hayden Hurst, Olamide Zaccheaus, and Russell Gage. How do you break that one down now that there's 100 vacated targets there?
So Gage and Zaccheaus are going to be I mean, Pitts isn't going to go out and replace what Julio just was gone. Like he's not. Unless they decide to post, Pitts on the outside primarily and basically become this year's Chase Claypool, like you're going to bump Calvin Ridley outside more. He's going to obviously get the volume. Like there's Ridley's upside is absolutely insane this year in terms of target volume. Touchdown efficiency is going to go down. Touchdown rate will go down. Ridley never scored a touchdown when Julio was healthy with him, which is an odd fact to look at. So while he can dominate, and I think he'll get the volume to get to the top 5 where a lot of people are putting him at, I don't know if the touchdowns are going to be there. This is still going to be a very low scoring offense. Them losing Julio is bad for the entire team. You have old man Matt Ryan, you have a bad running back core, and you have a very youthful receiving core that you now, pigeonholing your number 2 spot with a rookie tight end who sure will have a decent chance at maybe breaking some records as one, but the touchdowns are going to be there. So now we're looking at low scoring and hopefully volume between, Gage, and Zaccheaus as your slot guy.
And volume's what
really fading everybody besides Ridley, in my opinion.
And volume's what people are banking on. Sorry, I was looking at this thing backwards. I think Pro Football Reference flipped around the way their charts go.
Yeah.
So it's actually 157 vacated targets if you look at 2019. Basically looking at last year, 68 over 9 games. Ridley had a huge year last year.
He did.
With Julio basically hurt a decent amount of the time. So, I do think you're going to get volume out of Ridley. A lot of discussion, it doesn't make him the wide receiver 1. It doesn't, but it's damn close because I expect Atlanta to still have to throw for a lot of volume. And last year, even with Julio demanding 7.5 targets a game, Ridley's at 143 targets, 90 yards, 90 receptions, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. This is a guy that's a good route runner. He's proven he can separate, and he's still going to have Kyle Pitts there to help him split the defense. Now, obviously, all 7 targets a game aren't going to go to Ridley. The ceiling is going to rise up a little bit from last year, but he was really good last year, so it's really hard to project an even higher increase on top of what he did last year.
And now you're asking them to go up against consistently, not in the 7 games that Julio missed, where he's going to see a mixed match of team's number 1 players, like our number 1 defensive backs. He's going up against them every single week. Yeah. He is now the focal point on the outside more. So now you have a slightly undersized outside alpha or outside flanker slot that's playing the alpha role, and you're going to see a potential struggle. I mean, he had a dud game. He laid a goose egg last year. I found this out listening to the Breakout Pod with Matt Kelly and Cody Carpentier when they talked about Ridley themselves. He had a dud. He laid a goose egg last year against Trey Alexander. So now you have a guy that we're supposed to trust as the wide receiver 1, who is supposed to rise above the elite competition that he's being asked to face now.
I saw the flip side of that though too, and he was actually, at least somebody else did film analysis on Twitter, and he was actually opened against Alexander.
Yeah, he had 98 unrealized air yards.
In that
the quarterback
game.
Situation never got better. Like it
didn't get better, but that's not saying anything about Ridley's talent because he was beating Alexander.
Yeah, but he still has to get the football to him. Like it's still like he can get open all he wants if Matt Ryan can't get him the ball. Like he still has to go out. Like it's to the point where it's great to see that he had 98 unrealized air yards, but you don't want to end up banking on a wide receiver that's going to throw up a goose egg. It's a little concerning.
I can go back and pull up all of the wide receivers that have thrown up a goose egg over the last 3 years.
Sure,
I bet there's some good names on there that you'd still draft.
But I'm just, it's one thing to look at, too.
I know
you can flip it from both angles that he got open against them, but he also didn't capitalize when he got open.
And that would have been against Green Bay because it was Alexander. It wasn't last year. It wasn't well, it was. Sorry. There it is. Week 4.
No, like this isn't me shitting on Ridley. Like he's easily top 5. He's got a career, like he's got a clear path to lead the league in targets.
I mean,
Potentially target volume.
and Julio was in that game, too. It only went 4 for 4, 32 yards. That was a bad game for that whole offense. Unless you're Olamide Zacchaeus, who was their leading target getter. So, I mean, that's almost, to me, a throwaway game. But I get what you're saying. I understand it. You're always going to be concerned for a wide receiver that's suddenly going to see better targets. But, you know, at the same time, he put up, 110 on Kyle Fuller. That's the Bears' top corner in primary coverage. It was 69 on Jeff Okudah. 90 on Janoris Jenkins. Again, just looking at some of these guys. 108 on Marshawn Lattimore. So, I mean, 130 on Breland. It's not like those Jair Alexander's all-world, but when you look at some of these guys that are, not all-world corners, not Jair, like you're going to fade anybody against Jair Alexander.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, looking at some of those guys, like the Kyle Fuller game's the one that sticks out to me, right? 110 yards against Fuller. Fuller is a really, really good cornerback, probably top 10 in the league. And that just tells me that he can do it. Now I get it. Lattimore also, right? Similar stat line. 108 yards on 5 receptions, 110 on 5 receptions against Fuller. I mean, those are both really good cornerbacks, not Jair Alexander level, but really good cornerbacks that he did it against. So, I mean, I'm just, where do you, top what do you feel like is safe for Calvin Ridley?
I think his ceiling's top 3.
What do you think the floor is?
Wide receiver 1. Top 7, top 8. Like he's like on volume alone. It's the reason why that we like.
So we're debating it. And we're not even any different here.
Yeah, like this isn't like this isn't a I think Ridley's a wide receiver too. Like no,
yeah.
This is us saying, don't overdraft really expecting Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins. They got 20 pounds on the guy.
Or Stephon Diggs.
So.
Yeah, I'd have it.
Well, Diggs, yeah.
I'd have him anywhere from 1 to 8, and he's probably tier 2 or tier 3.
Yeah, he's
so.
And from some of the best balls I've done, I haven't seen really being overdrafted, anyways. Though we haven't reached a point where you have your casually competitive guys coming in August.
So Kyle Pitts. So Matt Hicks, love you, Matt Hicks. Shout out Matt Hicks. Tweeted out that Julio Jones to the Titans does not help Kyle Pitts.
No, it hurts. Because now you're pushing him into a role where he's going to see more primary coverage too. Yes, he'll get on the field more. He'll see more snaps, more routes run.
Well, both guys can't see primary coverage, so.
Well, true. You're right. More outside. It just depends how Atlanta wants to use him in that role. Like if they're going to move him, are they going to try to fuck with him as an inline tight end? Or are they going to keep him as the primary move, and then also try to post him up at the X and try to maximize the athletic potential?
I think you got to believe that he's a mismatch in the slot. And
of course
working the seams and everything is what you have to believe with Kyle Pitts. And I disagree that it doesn't help him because volume opening up is never a bad thing. Volume is king, and we've seen it time and time again. It doesn't matter how talented you are. If volume isn't there, you're not going to be good. And if volume is there, especially at a tight end position, you're going to be good. And it doesn't matter if the efficiency numbers are shit or not, Terrell Pryor. You're going to be good if you have any form of volume, especially at the tight end level. So I think I think that it does help him because it's going to insulate the fact that he's going to get a couple more targets a game than he would normally get, and that's a tier breaker for tight ends.
That's also, that's also assuming that he's going to see, like he's going to be the main benefactor to Julio leaving. Like it's now.
I guess if you believe it's Zacchaeus or Gage, because I don't think there's any main benefactor. I think that it,
I think it hurts the overall team.
It does. But I think if you're looking at individual performances, I don't think there's a main benefactor. I think you probably factor it, 2 more targets a game for Ridley, 2 more targets a game for Pitts, and the other 1.5 goes to Joe Schmo, Hayden Hurst, Zacchaeus, Gage, whatever.
I think this is a big boost to Hurts too. Like I think now, like you're not rushing out there
Late round tight
picking
ends.
up Hurts, but now this like if you start hearing reports out of camp, out of rookie, out of OTAs, training camp, and preseason that Pitts is moving around the formation, lining up on the outside, that just frees up Hurts for more.
Hurst is going to play in line more so than anything else, and
True.
With Hurst playing in line,
Hurts.
I mean, that still opens up pass catching work for him, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's still there. So if you're looking late round tight end, absolutely, it helps Hayden Hurst.
And he had 88 targets last year.
That'll go down, but 6
touchdowns, 56. Well, I mean, yes, we assume, but that's also assuming Pitts is going to take over as a starting tight end from week 1. But it now depends what they're going to do with the outside spot. Like, who else is going to operate outside with Ridley?
It also probably Gage, and it also can go down though, right? Because 88 targets for a tight end, if that drops to 60 plus, but you're more efficient, you're in good shape.
Like this offense there's no way this offense is more efficient and it scores more. Ryan threw 626 passes. Ryan has a chance to lead the league in pass attempts this year too.
I'm not talking about the offense as a whole. I'm talking about the targets going to Hayden Hurst are more efficient.
Sure. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Not talking about the offense being more efficient. I'm talking about the targets that go to Hayden Hurst being more efficient. I want to look at Hurst's efficiency numbers. Actually.
It doesn't look pretty.
Yeah, probably not. And I'd imagine that if you've got a Kyle Pitts and a Calvin Ridley to worry about,
oh my God, it's bad.
It's bad. Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
So I mean, if you can improve on those efficiency numbers, which low bar, right? Then, and even if you lose 20 targets, you're probably in good shape from a tight end perspective at the position.
It's hard for me to bank on them improving from an efficiency standpoint when they lose the best, like your one true vertical threat in Julio, and now you're trying to replace them with a bunch of Jags and then a rookie tight end. Like Hurts may see more targets, especially early on if Pitts is struggling for whatever they want him to do, but yeah, it's hard to see him like he needs the offense to also open up a bit more, and you lose Julio, it that doesn't help.
I mean, yeah, and he wasn't working deep anyway, so you worry about the underneath being opened up. But if you have other guys drawing coverage underneath, you're still, looking more at catching efficiency numbers, I guess. Than
So I made a comment today. I was driving to my route.
I probably saw this.
Yeah, is Mike Davis going to fuck around and get 100 targets? Because now you look at the running back, like you look at just how many passing attempts this offense could have, to just how bad that running back depth chart is. Well, and Davis had 70 with Carolina last year. I think he had 70.
How much did they target the running back? I'm pulling it up.
Well, it was Todd Gurley, Ito Smith, Brian Hill. Like it's
right, but it's still a philosophy.
Yeah, it's so of course you want to see where the bacon,
because it didn't change. I mean, it's possible, especially if he's taking lead back duties. I mean, 35, 32, 30. So I mean, they targeted the back. No, sorry, more than that. It was 35, 30, 26. So I mean, they targeted the back 90 plus times. So
yeah,
I mean, it's definitely in the realm of possibility.
Especially if we're talking about really bad, efficient offense, no real deep threat, bad defense, vastly immobile quarterback. Mike Davis is not going to go out there and run wide receiver S-type routes as a running back. He's going to operate, near that offensive line. There's a realm of possibility that Davis just based on the conversation, based on where the targets could end up landing on, he could end up being, again, he was top 5 last year in running back targets. There's a good chance he could be the same this year, even though with Barkley and with McCaffrey coming back.
So, relevant stat.
Sure.
Who led the league in air yards last year?
who led it in there, it was Calvin Ridley, wasn't it?
It sure was.
Yeah.
Who led the league in deep targets last year?
So I'm assuming Ridley because we're going off of.
This is also Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just saying the narrative of they don't have a deep threat, we don't think of Calvin Ridley as a deep threat.
Are they going to operate him as a but
because of how
he's
good
going to take on more of that alpha where he's going to operate in all three fields now.
Right, but you can stretch the field if you need to, and Zacchaeus isn't slow either. I mean, he was up.
Slot guy. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can
slot,
but you can stretch out of the slot too.
Sure. I mean, I'm not saying that they won't have guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I mean, do you really want Ridley running deep every route?
Not every route, no, but he didn't run deep every route last year either. I don't know, like the reception perception on him was definitely not all nines, but that's where he ended up as far as air yards, every target. Like somebody posted the reception perception on Ridley the other day.
No, he's
and
elite.
He was already working all three phases of the field. I'm just saying, just the narrative of, because I fall into it too, of thinking of Ridley as just a route runner, but the opportunity numbers and productivity numbers show that he was, an upper echelon deep threat last year. So it's just a thing to think about.
I'll be interested to see if that's where that ends up more so. I mean, like,
he was also number one in unrealized air yards, by the way.
Yeah, it's this. Yeah,
number one in air yards and in unrealized air yards.
The fact that he could be, and number one in completed air yards. The fact that what he could be, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it reminds me of a couple years back when we were looking at Tyler Lockett's numbers, predicting that breakout. Where you just look at the efficiency numbers, and really, with Lockett, it was more separation after Doug Baldwin moved on. And you're looking at that, and you're like, man, this guy's going to be something. And then he absolutely was. So just looking at Ridley's efficiency numbers and what's underlying there just kind of has the same thing. It's like, yeah, maybe he could be. So
I mean, like Diggs is undersized as well.
Yeah.
Just led the league in targets and now is considered an easy top 5 dynasty receiver. There's though he's also tethered to Josh Allen, really tethered to Matt Ryan, who knows Atlanta really fucked up. Like, this just highlights how dumb of a pick drafting Pitts was over Justin Fields at pick 4.
Fair.
You had a real, you were already going to probably end up moving Julio, because this isn't just something that just popped up 2 weeks ago. This has probably been a problem for at least this past year. And instead of realizing Matt Ryan, age 37, it's probably time to move on, we have this elite prospect that we're staring at in the face, and we take a tight end.
Yeah, he's not your quarterback of the future, but
no. I mean, he's great.
He's also, he's been very, very solid for a lot of years, and he's still not entirely broken. He's just, at 37 years old, when you're going through a retool or a rebuild, that ain't it. And I get not wanting to waste his prime. You made a Super Bowl with him, but he already kind of wasted his prime. So, and Julio's
he's
too.
Beyond that, yeah. He's beyond it. And then
if we're gonna
move on from Julio, it's just.
But it's not like they just went out and re-signed Ryan or anything either. The trade value for a 37-year-old quarterback right now, unless somebody's in the thick of it, isn't great. So,
yeah.
Training camp injury, you might still see it, and they just go in with nothing and call it good.
And hope that they can get one of these next quarterbacks to come out.
Yep. All right. So let's move to bourbon for a second.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the term tater sticker?
I am not, but I'm interested.
Hold that thought.
Dun dun dead air. We don't fucking care.
All right, visual aids for the YouTube crowd. I don't. This really isn't the worst of tater stickers. That one actually fits pretty well. But you see that, for example.
I'll bump up the camera back. Okay. Yep, I see it.
So tater stickers are basically custom stickers that groups and people that do barrel picks slap on bottles, and some of them are done well. like that one, for example, where they're small, they go into unused space on the bottle, and then they don't really take away from the other labeling or anything else on there. And others are just like these giant atrocities that go over the manufacturer's label that, I've seen everything from like Riff Pitino, Google it if you don't know what it is, I'm not going to go into it, that are just really like not tasteful. And then there are others that maybe are on there to help with prostate cancer, and there are Four Roses bottles, that skyrocketed because of the sticker on them. Basically, it's an aftermarket sticker instead of do a barrel pick bottle. Basically, it's a marketing tactic. Four Roses came out and banned them on their bottles. So
that's okay.
And I get it, because there's a couple things that go along with that, right? One of the things that goes along with that is copyright infringement. Another thing that goes along with that is if you do have something offensive stuck to one of your bottles, do you want that tied to your brand? And another thing is that you spend all of this money to put together packaging. Do you really want it mutilated, as they termed it, or defaced by throwing a sticker on that? Obviously, the flip side of that argument is from the consumer standpoint or the group standpoint, or the store standpoint of, we're 2 levels removed. This has gone through the distributor who bought it from you, and now we've bought it from the distributor. So these are our bottles. We can do what we want to them, and especially as you're the consumer, you can do what you want to them. Just kind of hearing all this, where do you land? Because I know where I sit on this, and it's basically this. I'm not the biggest fan of tater stickers. I appreciate that Four Roses is kind of doing their thing to try to curtail it, but at the same time, if you're a group that buys one, I think that you should have the option to do what you want with the bottle. And as far as like being a consumer of those, I very much prefer get the bottle with the sticker on the side, and then I can decide if it's something I want to put on there or not.
Yeah, I mean, I see, both point of views. I actually would side. I wish Four Roses would just word differently how they put just how they phrased it, because I think the hopeful outcome to using these tater stickers is to have these great promotions with other brands, with other, these, like doing stuff for breast cancer, like doing stuff to raise awareness towards a certain problem in the world. Like there's a lot of good that can come from this when it's, policed and structured well. And I think that's where the potential concern comes from. There's no true way to police this. People are going to do whatever the fuck they want to do. They can buy their own. They could resell second market their own tater sticker on top of their own, their own Four Roses bottles, and also do it with other bourbon bottles if they decide to, or with whiskey, with whatever. They have many different ways that they can go about it, and it's that part's impossible to police. But I see them not wanting to see their own bottle with some sort of hate group on there, and you can't control it. You just have to hope that people aren't fucking stupid.
And some of them are just fun. Like, there's one for you. That's probably a better example, though, of covering up like the whole side of a bottle and everything.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
but like, if there is a good way to police it, like a good way to prevent people from not doing distasteful things or posting hate things on there,
and there's not,
and there's not. Like, you just have to hope, and
you just have to hope people have better sensibility about that, or if somebody does it, it's not going to drive the consumer standpoint, because it's a hard thing to enforce, right? What are you going to do? You're going to keep tabs on every group, and then what happens to them? They didn't spell that. Do you prevent them from doing picks in the future, which maybe if you catch somebody doing it that goes against what you're trying to do, and somebody's going to test this, we're going to find out soon enough.
Oh, easily, yeah.
But, then you stop them from doing future barrel picks, and there's a lot of other groups that are going to be happy about that because that opens up allocation for them. But, it's just one of those things. It's like, okay, I don't know how you enforce this. I get the reason why you're doing it, but do you really want to hamstring it at the same time. Now, from the other end of it, I help run a bourbon group. Our preference is always that if we're going to do a sticker, and we do them on occasion,
Sure.
just because we know that people like them, we'll give it to you on the side. You decide if you want to put it on the bottle and where and what you want to do with that. And if you do it at that level, there's no way that Four Roses is going to police you or know about it. Hey, we're giving you a bourbon and we're giving you a sticker to commemorate the occasion. Do what you want with the sticker.
That's probably the right
That's probably
call.
where it goes.
That's probably the perfect medium. Like I said, I just wish Four Roses would have worded their response better. Like it's coming out, very strong against it.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to spin it in a way that could, promote something that they maybe would want to see from people, like they can do like hashtag your own personal tater sticker. Maybe you get to go out there with your buddies and do your own handpick. Like you could spin this in a positive marketing way instead of being like the grouchy dad that says no. Like, nah, that's not my bourbon.
Or design it as an option to where like the store logo goes on there, because their barrel proof sticker is one side of the bottle. Their store pick sticker is. So I mean, maybe design it as an option to where you can have a custom logo put on the side of it outside of the store logo that also has the barrel information or something like that on it. Maybe make that part of your program. But the other thing that they banned, and I'm completely in agreement with this, there is no argument on the other side of this from me, is custom wax. And I think custom wax looks tacky as hell. Makers does it well. Knob Creek recently changed their wax, so it's okay. But like people custom waxing bottles looks tacky as shit most of the time. So I'm glad that they banned that one.
Yeah.
Especially on bottles that shouldn't have wax. Like, if Four Roses bottle doesn't need wax. The hell you wax in a Four Roses? It's a short neck. What are you waxing a Four Roses bottle for? So, anyway, I'll digress. You got some Dynasty trades?
I do. So I made 2 trades over the last week and a half. Okay. These are in 2 separate Dynasty leagues that were for 2 separate Patreons that are operating with the same league settings. So these are, 2 separate patrons, but the 2 that I'm following are also very close in friendship. So these 2 leagues are operated the same. These are 16 team leagues. Super flex, must start 2 tight ends. I believe it is tight end premium. Massive roster. So 1 QB, 2 running back, 3 receiver, again, 2 tight end, 3 flex, and 1 super flex. No defense, no kicker. You're looking at a handful of 14 bench slots, 12 to 14. No taxi squad, few IR. So both of my teams, So big starting roster,
20,
big roster and whole.
26, it looks like.
Yeah, I think 26 sounds about right. So you're looking at massive starting roster. A lot of players are in play, especially with 16 teams. That's a lot of players that can start each week. Both of my rosters, both of these leagues started last year, and both of my rosters are pretty poor. I had some unfortunate luck, and I just started to tearing down some of them. So the first league that I made a move in was during our rookie draft, which was last weekend. And I traded for a Kyler Murray. I traded away Carson Wentz, the 104, and TJ Hawkinson.
What'd the 104 end up being?
He went with Kyle Pitts over Justin Fields. That part doesn't matter. So players now, Wentz, Pitts, and Hawkinson for Kyler Murray.
How's your tight end depth?
I had Noah Fant and Hawkinson.
So you had Fant, but it's a must start too?
Yeah. Did not add any. I had some, I got some rookie tight ends. I drafted Fairmouth. Tommy Tremble. Like, guys that have a potential chance of not expecting much. But this is going to be a team not contending. This is a team that I'm trying to tank properly. I'm going to obviously, field my best roster every week as, to the best of my abilities. But this is me making a move to, to now have 2 elite potentially elite quarterbacks. I now pair Murray with Joe Burrow. So I have Murray and Burrow as my QB depth.
Sure. So, a couple ways to look at this. I think I lean a little bit more the other side, but that's also the difference in how we value Murray. And I think if I valued Murray the way that you value Murray, especially in Dynasty, that I can definitely see why you did this. First off, the quarterback tandem is awesome. And, I think the only reason that I have a little bit of pause here has nothing to do with Carson Wentz. Like, that is absolutely, you got the better end of that part. It's really the two tight ends that this turned into with, TJ Hawkinson being a piece that the Lions figure to build around, and we'll see what this year brings, but his value could really skyrocket this year. It hasn't yet, so, you're still a little chance there. And then Kyle Pitts, everybody thinks that's the next big thing since Gronk. So, with it being two tight end premium, and tight ends at that talent level not coming around all that often. You also do Devy, so I don't really know what's coming. You're more plugged in with what's coming in the future draft classes than I am. But with it being tight end premium, and you've got two top 3 tier tight ends, basically, probably top 2 tier, that just left, I think that you're a little lopsided in that regard with it being 1-for-1. I probably would have liked something else coming back your way, opposite with Kyler Murray, just to make it a little bit closer. But I can certainly see why you did it. But I do think that it's tilted a little bit towards the 2 tight ends in a 2 tight end 3 flex premium type league. So
and like I said, he took Pitts over Justin Fields,
right?
Because I would have took Fields there. Like, I love Pitts. Like, yes, that would have been great. Like, that would have been like it would have been obviously nice to have that, but
you also wouldn't have had her. Well, you would have because you didn't have Murray yet. So yeah.
It's a team that.
But you would have kept Hawk and Fant together too, and then you would have had Fields and Burrow. And here's a question, right? Do you believe that the upside of Murray is higher than the upside of Fields? Because
right now, yes.
Okay.
We know what Murray is. We don't know what, I can love Justin Fields up and down every day, all day. We don't know who he is.
I think they're probably close. So
based on a couple of trade calculators, and just based on other people's responses, it's extremely close. It's like, this is a deal that will not raise concern in either direction.
No, and it didn't really raise concern in either direction for me either. I just tilt the other direction because of the league format, basically.
Yeah. All right. Second trade, again, same league format. Fuck is this one? There it is. All right, so this one just happened the other day. And this one was... Let me pull up the league here. Oh, goddamn. It was Nick Chubb. I'm trying to remember here. So I traded away Nick Chubb and the rookie tight end for Carolina. So Tremble in this one. And I got in return a 2020 second first, Gabe Davis, Darrell Henderson, and a 2020 third second. Same way of this team is not going to compete.
It really threw me off that you called it a 2020 second first and a 2020 third second, because I was like, you got a 22 first and a 23 second. I had to I had to turn on my Dan translator there.
Fucking words for Dan, always hard. So 22 first, 23 second, Gabe Davis and Darrell Henderson for
Tommy Tremble and Nick Chubb on a team that's not competing. You absolutely fleeced that one. Yeah. Darrell Henderson's a back that still has some complimentary upside. I don't believe in Cam Akers, so there's still some complimentary upside there. The first round pick alone, it takes care of Chubb plus, right? I love Nick Chubb, but if you're on a rebuilding team, Nick Chubb isn't going to be of much use to you 3 years down the line, probably.
He's not much use. Yeah, right now, he's definitely not.
When you're ready to go, he's just going to accidentally win you a couple games. So and he's not going to be not likely not going to be the same level of contributor when you're in your window. So the first covers that. The second's a good add-in, and Gabe Davis is just a good piece to have after what he showed in his rookie season. So,
it was almost an add-on. Like originally, it was going to be the first Davis and the 23 second. And the way I look at Darrell Henderson is there's literally no risk for me.
No it's all
risk
upside.
Because if something does happen to Akers,
it's Henderson.
Whether he's out for the whole year or he's out for a stretch of games, I'm now going to maximize Henderson's trade value.
It's a piece, and Gabe Davis is a young wide receiver that figures to see his, I'd assume he's going to trend up the next couple seasons given what he showed in his rookie year. And you had draft picks, and not low draft picks either. So I like that trade about 1 million times more than I like the earlier one.
Yeah.
So, one of those is close, lopsided against you, in my opinion. The other one is a no-doubter that you took that one. So, I think that you found somebody that really has a Chubb for Chubb.
Well, he's got a good roster, and he's competing. So one thing to note for the listeners out there, both these leagues are going into their second year as a league. So you do have a lot of teams in flux. There's no true dominant team. There hasn't been 3, 4, 5 years for these teams to generate a bunch of rookie picks and then feel up and be dominant. There's still a lot of shit that can happen, and for people that are looking to rebuild during these times, you can find a little more success as there's more teams that are going to feel more confident that they can compete. And with this being a 16-team huge starting roster, like there's a lot that can happen. And I have 322.
Well, and if you're a competing team,
first in that league. Right
if
now.
you're a competing team, Chubb's the type of player that you want. So
exactly, like he
made
needed,
sense for him too.
He had just Austin Eckler, so there was a lot of benefit. Like there is a lot of reasons to risk some of the youth that he had
and the picks to go get Nick Chubb.
And the picks to go out and try to win this year.
Yeah.
And so it's a good pick from.
That's well played from both sides, knowing the scenario.
Yeah.
Want to talk Jags for a second?
Yeah, so stop some hype trains.
All right, and actually, this is hype train. Let's just go hype train. We won't even call Andrew Erickson out of and give Andrew Erickson a shout out on the show because he's a great guy too. All right, let's start with that one. Andrew Erickson. I guess I will call him out. It wouldn't shock me at all for Laviska Shenault to outproduce DJ Chark.
It shouldn't shock anybody.
Nope.
What should shock people if it's the other way. Shenault is the alpha in this offense now with one of the greatest prospects of all time.
And he looks like it in training camp, and he was always the more talented receiver, and he would have been drafted much higher if he wasn't hurt for half of his college career.
And in one of the deepest receiving classes we've seen from top to bottom. So, yeah.
Right.
I have been trying to gobble up all the Shenault shares as I possibly can in leagues and best ball. It's people got. I mean, there is legit people out there that were concerned about Urban Meyer coming out saying, "I wish I had Kadarius Toney." Like there is people legit starting to fade Shenault because they felt like Kadarius Toney was a threat. Urban Meyer wanted Kadarius Toney was a threat to how he felt about Shenault. Like it was the perfect manifestation of off-season coach speak taken to the max. It was fucking stupid. Buy Laviska Shenault if you can. He's going to have a fantastic year in this offense.
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. He's got the most upside of any wide receiver there. and you absolutely go either buy him or draft him a round ahead of when he's probably going to be drafted, but also watch his ADP as it goes. And we'll do an ADP episode at some point because that's fun for us to talk about. So, that's the whole purpose of changing format a little bit, is to make it fun for us to talk about. ADP is fun to talk about. It's what would Dan and Chris talk about if we were drinking a beer out on the disc golf course or whatever. So, all right, Amon-Ra St. Brown stood out twice during drills, once for route running and another for hands. This is from Sleeper Haas. Sleeper Wire.
It's not shocking because he was always known as a decent route runner. He's always had
good hands. Yeah,
good hands. He's just not athletic. That's.
So it's a matter of what's he going to do at the next level. And on a team like the Lions, where you don't really have a lot of receiving options, he's a damn good pickup. I mean,
there's a lot of comps to him being the next McLaurin, just given the lack of depth chart there.
He's even going to be a late rounder in redraft, I think, because there's no depth chart there. So it's got to be somebody, right? We just said it earlier. Volume's king, and if you have volume, it doesn't really matter how efficient you are because you can still be an asset as long as you get volume. If he shows out in training camp, he's going to get volume. But I agree. It's really what you're looking for here is, did the route running in the hands that showed on college film, is it translating? And it's coach speak right now, but it sounds like it is. So that's good news for Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's somebody that I talked about at least a couple times throughout the rookie process, is a guy that, I liked in outside of that early tier wide receivers. I said Sternberger, but that's not right.
Yeah,
it's Stidham.
Stidham.
So it's because
I was like, what?
It's because Sternberger got a 2-game substance abuse suspension, so he probably failed the drug test.
For the Packers?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So he was a fun prospect. That's all that will be, unfortunately. Anyway. Brian Hoyer, Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer, more 11-on-11 action than Mac Jones in Cam Newton's absence. Anything you make of this? Is it just on the surface make Mac Jones earn it, or do you think they're really that far ahead of him? I mean, they know the offense, but
there's been a lot of positive news on where Mac Jones is leading towards. This is probably more so, Belichick not wanting to give some of his veteran backups. I think more so we know that Mac Jones isn't the QB2 in this roster just yet. We're so early into the offseason that, this means nothing.
Well, it seems like a Belichick thing, too. Make him go out and earn it, right? So
yeah, yep.
Make him go out and earn it. This next one is this beer of
our hearts.
This next one is just this beer of hype for me, honestly. Elijah Moore catching touchdown passes has looked unstoppable by the goal line. Elijah Moore getting off-season hype in the Jets offense is exactly what you want to see, because you pump Elijah Moore being used in goal line scenarios into my veins, because that was the only question for Elijah Moore coming into the league. He's hyper athletic. Are they going to use him in spots where you'd normally use somebody with a little more size? If that answer is yes, holy crap, is he going to the moon? It's the AMC share of rookie stocks if this keeps up. And
I think the one concern is that his ADP is going to go up the fucking roof. He's going to end up becoming unattainable because his ADP is going to be so fucking high.
No, but if you already drafted him, you're loving this.
That's why you play in Dynasty and
big pro Elijah Moore show.
Yeah, huge. Sorry, someone just sent me a trade offer.
What's that one? Bad? Is it Sean?
No, this is actually one of the leagues we talked about. It's Marvin Jones. So
nope.
I would be giving away Jared Goff and Cortland Sutton and get in return Marvin Jones, Irv Smith, and a 22-second.
Jared Goff is inconsequential on your roster.
Yeah, I'm trying to move him.
Cortland Sutton's the one you kind of shrug at, but you're getting draft picks, and Irv Smith.
I'm getting one draft pick, and it's not a first. I don't think I would.
And the only thing that makes it even mildly attractive is Irv Smith and the tight end premium after you let Hawk go. But, Marvin Jones is a throwaway piece in that.
Yeah,
Cortland Sutton is a good young wide receiver still with top 10 upside. So I mean that's a tough one.
You think Marvin Jones is top 10 upside?
Not Marvin Jones, Cortland Sutton.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like,
No. Marvin Jones
Jones
has
is a
no
throwaway,
upside.
yeah.
I said Marvin Jones is a throwaway piece.
I was like, we may have to have a conversation. No, I wouldn't do it.
Oh, neither. I need a little more.
I'll look at something.
It's a good
we've
base.
gone back and forth. We've gone back and forth with Connor. So
It's a good base, but Marvin Jones is not a piece that Marvin Jones is a piece that does absolutely nothing for you.
So basically, the original offer sent to me was the 22-second for Jared Goff, which is laughable. Goff is in a 16-team league, Superflex. Goff still has value.
He does.
So I countered with Irv Smith in the 22-second for Goff, which again, even Jared Goff still has value.
Also tied in premium, so Irv Smith also has value.
And then this was his counter, was adding on Marvin Jones and Cortland Sutton, which is just
you just made it more the wrong way.
Yeah, that's a massive leap.
Even if you add in Marvin Jones is not a player that does anything for you, period, at all in the least bit.
He's got no upside. Like there's no way
there's
he blows up
no
this
upside,
year.
and what you're looking for is it a young player that's going to develop that has potential upside, or is it somebody that can turn into a trade piece? And Marvin Jones is neither of those things at this stage.
Yeah. But Elijah Moore.
On the other hand, is a young player with a ton of upside that's getting a lot of hype.
Ray Garvin posted, talks of Moore becoming Antonio Brown 2.0, and I made the fun comment that pissed off some LSU fans of, is Ole Miss the new wide receiver with DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, and now Elijah Moore? All tongue-in-cheek fun. Like, just having, and then it just pissed off these fan bases. Like, motherfucker, we just put out Justin Jefferson and, Terrace Marshall and Jamar Chase and DJ Chark and Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. I'm like, well, first off, dude, Beckham and Landry were 6 years ago. DJ Chark, you're not thrown in there. He's had one productive season in 3 years. And now we're left with even players. Like, I don't even care. I love what LSU's doing. They got the potential wide receiver one coming up in the next couple of years. Like, they're obviously putting out better receivers potentially as a team. I was just fucking having fun with this, and I just pissed off a bunch of fan base. So, I figured I'd throw that out there as a fun little side note.
Which also relates somehow back to Elijah Moore. Anyway, you pump this into your veins. He's absolutely a first-round rookie draft pick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
no qualms there.
Obviously, dynasty upside, et cetera, redraft, he'll have value. We'll discuss just how much later on. You get it. Anyway, Jordan Love, first crack at the 2-minute drill ends at midfield with a sailed pass. Rodgers is not at OTAs. Blake Bortles leading for the leading backup quarterback job.
I want Rodgers to get traded. I've seen reports surface again for both him and Russell Wilson with their preferred teams. I want Rodgers to be traded. I just want to see Green Bay fans cry.
Russell Wilson came out today and denied that he ever even requested a trade. So
yeah, again, we're in peak off-field news here.
Oh, you're also in peak make news. Shit up for clicks season 2. So
exactly. But Love not looking great to start off on his first 2-minute drill. As
Packers fans, you should be concerned.
Good.
Yeah, good. You should be very concerned. How's your beer? Let's do a beer review before I break into these cards.
Let's do it. I'll start here. Again, Anvil and Forge, local to the Springfield, Illinois area. This is their Wolfsbane Grain Tart Ale. This is a lemon peel and Earl Grey tea. Very, very refreshing. Light on the tartness. Obviously, the lemon peel really sticks out. I haven't had a whole lot of Earl Grey tea to give you the true footnotes of how much that stands out. But the beer itself, at only 4.1%, is a perfect beer for the warm weather outside and for the ever increasing temperatures that we're going to receive this weekend. So if you get a chance to pick up a beer quite like this, I recommend, if you're in the Illinois area, try to find me somewhere when I'm out in the field, and try to pick yourself up this beer.
All right, and as a reminder, our Prairie Artisan Ale is just the juice, Imperial Pastry Sour with blood orange, mango, apricot, and vanilla. First off, this thing is really, really good. I drink it, and my first thought is just fruit pie. It's like it's a fruit pie is basically what it is, with a hint of vanilla. Vanilla really helps to. It's not super sweet. It just really helps balance out some of the tanginess, if you will, from the mango and the apricot. Blood orange definitely takes a back seat. Don't really get a lot of that. I think that adds just a little bit of the juiciness of the mouthfeel. Mango and apricot, though, really shine in this one. They're very, very upfront. Definitely a sedimenty beer. You can tell from the haze on my glass. But, again, more YouTube visuals. But, yeah, overall, really, really good beer. It's got good balance to it. And like I said, it's like a fruit pie. It's a good sour for summer.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'll show you football or baseball first.
Let's do baseball. We'll save what people may be coming here for last.
All
the
right,
football
so
cards.
This pack feels more full. And these aren't that's why it feels more full. So these aren't actually in a pack at all. They're just, oh, nope, I got an opening day pack. Remember those 99-cent packs I was trying to grab when the Target lady yelled at me?
Yeah.
That's what that is.
So they're not off-brand packs. They're just repackaging for Walgreens style.
No.
I love it.
I've got some old ones in here too, though. Holy crap. Look at these. Hold on, there's just some dude named Ross Jones up there out front.
He looks he's got the dad stash and everything.
It's from...
Straight up 1970s, 80s style.
This is a Fleer card from sometime. 87, it looks like, was the last year on here.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do I have anybody worth a shit in here? Hold on, we're going to go through it. Randy Bush, that's kind of a no. Twin. Minnesota Twin.
Yeah. Twinkies.
Lance Dickinson, former Cub. Tommy Hare, Carlos Hernandez. I mean, these are like 1980s cards, man. I was not expecting this. This is... And they're all in a different order. They're not facing the same... Ken Anderson. There's a name I know. None of these are in the same order either. Not only are they not packaged, they're just not... No wonder this is Mike Bilecki. Apparently a former Cub. Maybe there's somebody good in here. Rick Honeycutt. I know Rick Honeycutt, I think, had a couple good seasons. 1990? We're getting newer at least. He was a guy.
We're newer. We're in 1990. Well, it's newer.
1990, yeah. We're back to... Oh, I got an Ozzie Guillen card. When he was with the White Sox as a player. Little Ozzie Guillen love there.
That was Ozzie Guillen love.
That'll go in the... Gary Gaetti. Another former Twin.
Boom.
That's been the most fun one. I got a Mark Grace card. There's a fun one as a Cubs fan. And Joey Cora. There we go. Oops, holding it the wrong way. Little Mark Grace action for all you Cubs fans out there. This one's from, it would appear to be 1990. I feel like the football ones are going to be more fun because at least last time I grabbed those, they were newer. Addison Reed, that's newer.
I know that name.
2018, yeah.
Yeah.
Former D-backs closer, pitched for the Twins too.
That's why I know that, because I think he sucked with us. I
uh,
think he was actually horrible with us.
See. .450 ERA, 1.43 WHIP, not great. Negative -0.2 wins above replacement. So yeah, no, you hope for more. Bob Walk, that's an unfortunate name for a pitcher.
Bob Walk.
Bob Walk.
Oof.
Give me something else fun here. There's occasionally supposed to be an awesome insert in here, and 1 out of every 8 packs. Todd Zeal, former Cardinal.
Must be a lot of cards in that pack.
There are. I mean,
That's good.
this whole thing was just shoved full with that amount of width. So, I mean,
Shit.
yeah.
I didn't realize how thick the packaging was.
Well, I didn't realize how full it was because there's normally a lot of air in there. It's like a bag of Lay's, but apparently when it's just the shit you're trying to get rid of that you bought in bulk somewhere. Ryan Thompson, don't know what that is. Real Cormier. I remember Real Cormier. He pitched into his 40s, I think.
That's impressive.
Nope. Skeeter Barnes. Old Skeeter.
What a name. Skeeter Barnes.
Don't remember who that is. I did pull, the last one of these I bought, I did pull a Pat Mahomes card out.
There you go.
The Windy City Warriors. Oh. Baez and Contreras.
Hey,
That's newer.
that's a couple bays for you.
I'll definitely take that.
Yeah.
2019 card. I'll take that. Colin Moran. I found the newer stuff.
Oh, nice.
And we're back to old shit. They put 3 new cards in here. Willie Upshaw, Scott Sanderson. How do you not know who Willie Upshaw is? Lance McCullers. But that's got to be the other Lance McCullers. There's a Lance McCullers Jr. pitching for the, or that pitched for the Astros. I don't know where he's at now. So that's got to be the OG Lance McCullers. And then I got this 2021 opening day pack, which I tried to buy at Target, and a lady yelled at me because I was buying more than 1 pack of cards.
Oh, and she was
not going to let me buy the 99-cent pack of opening day cards that has like 7 cards in it.
She policed you hard. She was like, nah, fam.
Or less. If there's a special insert, they only give you 2 to 5. This pack feels thin, though, so there's got to be a special insert in here.
Ooh. Maybe it's an autograph.
Or I'm just wrong. Don't know who that is. Victor Robles. Ryan Braun. Boo. He's retired at least. Hold on to that. Kirby Puckett. I got a Kirby Puckett.
Hey.
Look at that. You want that
I
one?
know that name. Sure.
You want that one?
Fuck yeah, I love Kirby Puckett.
Look at that one to you.
I grew up a Puckett fan.
Yeah.
I mean, what kid didn't really, honestly?
Twins fan. I'll give you that one.
Aw.
So nothing fun in that one. The football one last time I bought this was fun because it wasn't a bunch of loosey-gooseys. It was like 9 packs of who knows what, right? They're sub-packs of, there are some loosey-gooseys in here, but then we got a couple sub-packs too. So I got that actually could be useful. I got a first edition LSU Tigers pack.
Ooh. You'll probably see potential Jamar Chase in there.
And a Panini pack for Texas A&M.
Ah. So college cards.
Yeah, that just says football. It doesn't say what football.
That's fair. So, I mean, it could have been soccer, too.
Could have been.
It could have been.
Here's a Pro Line card with Irv Pankey, whoever that is. Eddie Murray, the kicker, not the actor. Oh, look at that. That is freaking sweet.
Dante fucking
Dante
Moncrief.
Moncrief.
Oh, man. Show legend, Dante Moncrief.
Oh, this one's hollow foil, man. You're going to appreciate this. It's another hell of a find. That'll go for $12, maybe.
Fucking
Braylon Edwards.
Wow, there's a name.
Ooh, there's a Panay Sewell rookie card.
Yeah. I'm looking at the score. I was able to pun intended, score a couple packs at Walmart a couple weeks ago.
Did you open them yet?
Yeah, I've opened them. I'm just going. I haven't looked at them. I haven't looked at them since I bought them, and opened them up. But I got another Trevor Lawrence rookie card. Ed Reed.
There's a Jalen Hurts Alabama card.
Oh.
Colin Johnson.
Jamar Chase in here.
Somebody call it Ball Blaster, that one.
Zach Mott's. You should just give it to him when we go
up
there in August.
Good call. I'll hold on to that one and be like, hey, got a present for you. Oh. ooh. Those are two fun ones, though. Those are two fun ones.
Yeah. So is it a Mario Manningham?
Mario Manningham and Greg Jennings.
Greg Jennings.
Mario Manningham's a fun name.
I got a Hunter Renfrow card for you.
Sweet.
Red parallel.
I'll trade you my Kirby Puckett for a Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
Which is probably not a fair trade, but
I got a Marvin Jones card, huh?
I got a
To the fucking moon there.
I got a Micah Parsons and a T. Higgins. Micah Parsons rookie card. T. Higgins All-American card.
Ooh. I got a Patty Mahomes.
Oh, shit. Here's a name for you.
Yeah?
This is actually fun. I wish I had more from this era. Here's a name for you.
Oh, Kevin Curtis?
Kevin Curtis.
Hell yeah. I got a Cooper Cup, dude. You're gonna get your two favorite
white slot
lunch
receivers.
bail and white slot receivers with receding hairlines.
All right.
I had no clue.
Let's see who's in this LSU pack. I'm excited for this one.
Another Trevor Lawrence and Justin Jefferson card.
Here's the thing with these college packs, right? Sometimes there's basketball in here, too.
Ooh. I got a Christian Darrisaw. Javonte Williams. Don't care about him. Jerry Rice in there. And Justin Herbert.
There is nobody in here that I have ever heard of. It's all black and white from the 1980s.
Really? What?
100%, man.
Wow.
There's nobody in that. I'm all excited. Like, man, they put out a lot of good players over the year, and I got a Bobby Lowther card from 1943. A 1943 card with Bobby Lowther.
You got to find us some LSU fans.
There better be a Johnny Manziel card in here.
Mike Evans. It's going to be Kellen Mond.
Yeah, probably. I'd be okay with that, though. I like Mond. Von Miller.
Hey.
Johnny Manziel.
Hey.
AJ Minter, who's a baseball player.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Tyler Naquin, another baseball player. Forget they had a good baseball team. Actually, that wasn't too bad. I'll take that. I'll take a Von Miller and a Johnny Manziel college card.
There you go.
That baseball pack was very unproductive. So, the moral of the story is if you go to Walgreens and you see the packs hanging out, you're probably going to find some fun stuff. Just be aware that it's a fun in the, hey, this is fun to remember range, not fun as in,
these cards are worth a fucking damn. No.
Yeah, they're not going to be worth anything. But, you know what? I found some things.
We gave the listeners content they didn't know they needed.
That's right.
That air and us opening up football cards.
I feel like there's a better way to do that when I don't have 90 baseball cards, that when I don't know half the players and I keep having to, like, that might be a better thing to do when we get our hands on some real packs instead of, here's this shitty hobby pack from Walgreens. Let's see what's in here.
That's right. Well, with all the restrictions of buying sports cards in retail, we might actually have some chances to get our hands on some actual, Panini sponsored packs.
Well, that's true. Hey, some of those were Panini. That Mark Grace card was Panini, or those A&M cards were all Panini.
Perfect.
That's our show.
Great show.
Great show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be here next week with something. I don't know what that is yet. We'll probably figure it out Wednesday night. So,
Love it.
see ya.
See you guys.
Wait, I wasn't ready. Hold on, I wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
Okay, now I'm ready.